Hey, and welcome to Aussie Vision. We've just seen the jury grand final, and we are going to run through some of the ones that really stood out or lifted today. Now, I've got Kyriakos here. Now, I thought it was a really good show. I feel like everyone performed really well, and it's really hard to pick out some of the top ones.
Yeah, it was very difficult. There's a lot of good performances all in a row as well. Yeah, people are in for a real treat for the grand final night.
And I love that we pretty much almost wore the same thing again, like 2 days running
Yeah,
when we've done
yeah,
this. You've got 2021, I've got
yeah. I
2020.
just got
So
this yesterday, so
there we go. All right. Well, let's start with some of the big guns that we think are going to get some jury points here. We've got a group of five, and let's start with we're going to go in running order here. Malta. They look to do very well with them with the jury. What did you think of Destiny's performance tonight?
yeah, Destiny's the star. She did it again. I thought her vocals were on point. The energy was great, and the crowd really related well as well. Yeah, fantastic performance from Destiny.
Yeah, and it was she adds the fun bits in just as much as a televote one because there is overall impression for the jury, there is the vocal, and of course there's a song. She has probably one
Yep,
of the better songs for jury. She
yep.
delivered the vocal and she brought that great overall experience. So I think this is going to hoover up a lot of jury points on Saturday night European time. All right, let's move on to the next one we've got here, which is Switzerland. What did you think of John's Tears?
Yeah, overall, flawless vocal for me. He also went higher during that last note, which during that epic moment, and I thought that really worked well, and the juries would definitely like that. And yeah, just worked well overall with that epic staging and all the smoke and
Yeah,
so yeah,
exactly. The staging was as always amazing and it has real impact. And you're right, this you often see in jury shows things that artists will do to get the jury's
yeah,
attention. And he definitely went for this big note towards the end, which is risky, but he nailed it. And that's that little bit of edge because I found it really hard when trying to work out who did better between like a Switzerland and France, not just because they're French language. I just feel like they might be playing to the same people, and maybe that got him over the edge a little bit there. All right, let's move on to Bulgaria. I think this is a really good commercial radio friendly songs that juries lap up. What
yeah.
did you think about Victoria's performance?
Yeah, another emotional performance from Victoria, and the jury's definitely going to go for this one. I can definitely see it in the top five for sure. Yeah, vocally, probably the best so far as well that we've seen. Yeah,
I agree. I think I thought her semi-final live show vocal was probably her weakest actually of the whole week, but that's the show to do it on. I thought she was impeccable tonight. That's the best her vocals definitely sounded. And again, oof, there's a lot of battling for this jury point.
yep,
She's going to pick up some for sure. All right, we just mentioned it earlier. Let's talk about France. It's Barbara Pravi with Voila. First time we've sort of seen it in a run through because it's one of the big fives. I was a bit worried about her running order between these big songs, but there's just a moment. Everyone just kind of goes silent and just takes it all in. And I think, yeah, it was a good jury performance. What did you think?
yeah. She every time she performs, she ramps it up a bit more, like just that oomph that she gives, and the crowd went for it. That epic moment at the end, where she's like going voila, voila. The crowd, you could hear the crowd just like feeling it with her, and yeah, the jury's going to go for that for sure.
I,
So
they
yeah,
have to. It's going to be interesting how they treat this kind of older style of genre. That's my only question mark because the delivery is amazing. And you're right, she gives more in that voila than I've ever seen her do
yeah.
before. So giving it more of a moment towards the end there. And of course, we've got to talk about one of my favorites anyway. It's Måneskin, Italy, Zitia Buoni. 24th in the running order, plum spot there. Good performance tonight, I thought. What did you think jury wise?
Yeah, vocals on point tonight. They cannot ignore this one because yeah, it's just a great show overall, and you get the energy from the audience as well, which works really nicely. They really got into it. Yeah, the juries cannot ignore this one.
And I think it's something I'm glad you brought up the vocal because such a everyone goes the rock and the show
Mm,
and the flames and what they're wearing, but Damiano, he just smashes that vocal every
yep.
time. And I think that's going to help as well because it's not just screaming rock or just generic rock like a Finland, for example. I think this is going to stand out for juries as well. So that is a lot there to try and get up some jury score, probably the top five we see at that one. But there is a group just behind there. They're, trying to get in the scraps for some jury, which we think is going to stand out. And one we definitely both agree on as getting a good jury score and getting into that top 10 of the jury is Portugal. Kyriakos, I know it's a favorite of yours. What did you think of their performance tonight?
Yeah, again, to me, another flawless performance, and it's all jury bait for overall. Yeah, I could see them even making the top five. It just depends, again, the type of jury we have. But yeah, I can see them doing really well again.
I think this will appeal to a lot of jury members for sure. And they've just nailed it every time. Like, you just know, you wouldn't even be nervous for them going out. They're just going to hit it every time. Yep. He's going to perform it every time. The staging is good, and it's going to be jury appeal. And yeah, I think this is a top 10 jury song for sure. And it's just about how high I can go in the jury. That's going to be the question mark. All right, this is where we have a little bit of a difference of opinion here. These are our kind of ones that we think can get into the top 10. You're going to make the case for Belgium here. What did you think of Hooverphonic's performance?
Yeah, Hooverphonic just delivering a great performance once again. The definite top 10. And I think, like Portugal, they're the ones that the juries got them through to the semi-final, or my opinion. And yeah, the jury's going to reward them again as well. So
yeah, I think they're definitely going to get some jury points. I feel it's going to be a bit more mid-table jury. I feel like your Portugals and maybe some other songs are going to just eat it up a bit more, particularly now that we've got more in it. We've got these 5 songs at the top that they weren't competing with in the semi-final. So I think they'll still be in people's, jury's 10, but towards the bottom, which overall is going to end up just dropping them down a little bit. I can see it more of a 13th, 14th place or midfield for Belgium, or even a little bit lower. I'm going to make the case for Netherlands. I thought Django McRoy's song is just beautiful and his vocals are amazing. The performance looks really good. There's also a lot of goodwill for Netherlands putting on a great show. Those little things just get into juries' heads, like, oh, am I going to put that 8th or 10th? Oh, Netherlands have been great. I'm going to put that just one spot above. It all adds up. And I think he could sneak into the 10, but he's going to be left-hand side of the scoreboard, I think, with the jury. I think that was a great performance.
Yeah, I agree with you there too. Yeah, he did a really good job. Nails it every time. So
that group of 3 is interesting. They might be fighting for the same type of jury members. Yeah. So you could see one fall away, not because it doesn't have jury appeal, but because other ones might be grabbing that market, grabbing that person more than the others. Interesting. We'll have to wait and see tomorrow. Now we're going to talk about 2 wild cards. We just don't really know how the juries are going to treat these songs because of very different circumstances. The first one is the circumstances Ukraine and just the out there genre that we're dealing with here. They deliver a great, of course. But what did you think of the performance, first of all, Kyriakos, and how do you think it can go with the jury?
Yeah, I will admit, I did watch the dress rehearsal the night before, and she was more on point in the dress rehearsal than she was tonight, but still, she delivered a really good vocal. It just sounded a lot more faster than usual, but they are the dark horse. I don't know where to place them, but they've got to do well.
Yeah, I mean, I think this has great overall impression. I do think it's probably not been the greatest performance I've seen them do, but they are always great. So when I say great, they're up here, they're like, oh, maybe they're today. So it just might be that one that cost them a couple of places in the jury that ultimately I think they're out of. I don't think they were a contender to win anyway, but I think they're a contender for top 5. And I think that's about where it could be, but it needs... Yeah, probably just need a little bit more to make me feel more confident about it. But still, we love Go Away in Ukraine, and we hope they get a good result. The other one we have here is Iceland and the whole COVID-19 situation. So we've seen this performance over and over again. But, for the juries, they're seeing this for the first time today. How do you think this is going to go? Because we can't talk about the performance because it's the same every time.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. So the juries would probably know Daddy and his group a lot more than all the other artists. So there's a familiarity there. Also, in terms of the overall feel of the performance, I did find the crowd was a little bit louder than usual. And that kind of helped just make the performance pop a little bit more. Yeah.
I think I would have normally had these guys in that top 5 bunch at the top because they did very well in the Euro jury, which is kind of all these artists who vote before Eurovision starts. And there's a lot of goodwill. People really respect him as a musician. There's a lot of different genres and elements of this song, and the overall impression is fun. But when it comes to this situation now, how are they going to treat it? How's it going to go? I don't know. But again, as a rehearsal footage, it's great. So the performance is good. How the juries treat it, and it sat well in the show. So we'll see how we go with that one. But I don't know. All right, we're going to go to our mixed bag here. But the mixed bag is we've got two songs each, which we think lifted for the jury here. Maybe it doesn't mean they're going to do super well with it, but they've helped their case by getting maybe a few extra points. Kyriakos, you're going to start us off with Lithuania.
Yeah, the Roop just keep giving us just a better performance every single time. And I think it's just them feeding the energy from the crowd. Yeah, this can't be ignored really. Like, again, don't know where it's going to go, but yeah, it was a great performance. Interesting that sandwich between Victoria and Goa, but I thought that still made them stand out.
Yeah, I think they popped for sure. I think they deserve to get Lithuania's best result ever, which is sixth.
Yep.
It's gonna be tough because this is such a tough year. A top 10 is going to be remarkable this year, but to start getting higher in that 10, you need to get those little bit, like even that 20, 30 points extra that you might get from juries. And I do think they gave themselves a chance tonight. One I'm going to make a case for here is Norway. Tix. Now, he is shown every time in the green room. He's everywhere. I think he's going to definitely get some televote love. He needed a little bit of jury love, of course. It's not the most contemporary song in the world, but his vocal was fantastic. It was really good. He hit that big note again. He did the runs in the big note again. He delivered it. It's not the most, he's not Adami Im, but he's not terrible. And I think, again, just getting those 20, 30 extra points could make the difference of sneaking into a really good result.
Yeah, his best performance yet. I really connected with him really well. I do love that he takes the glasses off. There's just that little added connection there. Still can't help but think about Effendi, being after Effendi.
You're falling into
that little
thing.
Trap. Yeah,
you have.
But yeah, fantastic performance from Tix.
All right, the other one you're going to make a case for here is Greece.
Yeah, I really felt like Stefania stepped up tonight. Her performance came across a lot more confident and just a little bit more relaxed as well. And she was able to give it that extra oomph that it needed. And and the crowd love her. She's part Dutch. So they were feeding off each other. So it was really nice to see.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this one, but God, when you start looking at it in the 26, it's a tough ask to even get towards the 10 because there's so much going on. So she definitely needed it tonight. And she is vocally really good and puts on a great performance. So put her best foot forward there. We'll see how it turns out. The one I want to talk about next is Israel. It's that whistle note. I mean, it's basically like when I shake cat food for my cats and they just come running, and that's what she does with the juries. They just hear that and they come running to give us a points because you can't ignore it. I actually don't think the whole lead up to that whistle note is that amazing. It's all fine. The vocal's okay, the song's okay, but she hits that and it's going to go down as a moment in Eurovision history, and juries love those little things to hold on to. So I think, and she did very well with the Euro jury, so they obviously like the song too. So I feel like there could be a top 10 for Israel, bit of a surprise there result based on one or two notes alone. But God, they're good ones.
Yeah, she does it so effortlessly too. It's amazing. And I agree with you there. It's definitely going to be a Eurovision moment, one that we won't forget.
Yeah. Oh, let's see how the juries treat it. Okay. Well, look, that's the only ones we've gone through here. But as we said tonight, so many people did well. Like, I can't think of one. Like, there was no bum note. No one, did terribly. There was just probably a few that in the running order, I don't think popped as much. Serbia, unfortunately. But anyway, we'll see how it all pans out tomorrow. But those are our jury picks from the show. Thanks for joining us, Kyriakos. And
thank you.
We'll speak whenever we speak around this Eurovision crazy weekend. See you later.
See ya.
Bye.